86 collisions in 5 years. Welcome everybody, Happy New Year. Hope you had a brilliant Christmas and New Year with your family. Join me on the way to the Ponderosa. Just doing a bit of a loop. It's the 19th of January. And this is my first ride out since I think it was something like the 27th, 28th of December. So I've not been out for a while. It's a bit of a miserable day. 1 degree, as you can see from the camera, very overcast. However, I just had to get out on the bike, just clear my head. So, just as a bit of a catch up for the start of the year, I'm still working through my Route de Grand Alps video series that I'm putting on YouTube. It's quite a hard slog because it's the first video editing I've ever done, and I pretty much filmed the entire trip. So, you know, colour grading, editing, picking bits not to put in the video and all that kind of stuff. It's quite hard work because I don't really have anything to go by or any experience, so doing the best I can. I'm enjoying the process, setting up my workflow and, you know, doing all that stuff. It has dragged on more than I thought it would though. That's mainly because I'm using a 12-year-old MacBook Pro, and the performance is not the best, particularly when managing 4K. So I'm still doing that. I've got some plans for this year in 2025. I bought some new kit which I'm hoping will improve the quality of the video footage I can bring to you guys, the viewers. So I've got myself Osmo Action 5, which I've now chin mounted, and I've moved my Osmo Action 3, which I filmed the Route de Grand Alps trip with, to point of view, so it's just there, not running at the minute. And then I think the biggest camera item that I bought is probably that Insta X4 360 camera, which I really did want to get before the trip last year, but I just couldn't afford it. So it's a shame really, because I think it would have been extremely useful in the Alps. So I'm just testing that out. Roads are really greasy today, but they're not icy, not that I've encountered just yet anyway. Looks like I picked another blinding day to go out into Wales. So I've had an extremely busy, I'd say 2 to 3 months. I've moved house, so I've moved a bit closer to Chester than I was before. I've been facing redundancy at work, so I've been going through that collective consultation process. It's really not very nice at all. I've come out the other end. Thankfully I still have a job, but this kind of thing is quite prevalent these days, isn't it? I don't think there's anything exists that's a job that's secure like it used to be. So and as you know, it's those two things, they don't, you know, potentially losing your job and moving house, applying for the mortgage and all that good stuff, they don't really complement each other very well. So it's been quite a stressful few months, hence why the videos have stalled as well. I'm not doing this YouTube channel for anything really, I just wanted to try it out, and I just wanted to record my experiences on the bike, mainly for my two little girls, so that when they grow up they've got something to watch Daddy doing. But also, to be honest with you, if it influences one or two people just to get out there on the bike and tour around and, you know, enjoy themselves on it, then happy days. Because I truly believe that touring on a motorbike is the best way of experiencing the country you're in. Got copper now. Oh no, it's fire service. Thought I was being pulled over. I cannot see out my pin lock, and it was foggy as well. I've got my visor up, so the volume's probably changed slightly. So, a busy last 3 months. House move completed a week before Christmas. I've got two little girls, so as you can imagine, that was pretty stressful. Did Christmas, had a lovely time with the family and friends, brilliant time. Went out for a lovely walk New Year's Day with my mates, and then the day after, the 2nd of Jan, I caught the flu. And honestly, I mean, obviously I'm 43 now, so I've been ill before, but oh my god, honestly, that flu, that was the worst I felt for a very, very long time. A very long time. My partner caught it before me, so I think I'm blaming her. I think she gave it to me, and I was just bedbound for over a week. I'm still not 100% now, so you'll probably hear me coughing, but oh, it was just horrendous. It really was. This pin lock is completely blown on me. I've not had the best of luck with pin locks. I make sure they're seated properly, and I'm very careful with them, and, you know, air them out. I just don't seem to have much luck with them. Oh, the smell of two-stroke is lovely. Oh, I love that smell. Yeah, this pin lock's completely fogged up. Got quite a good deal on this DJI Action 5. Black Friday sale. So there was some money off the actual camera, and then they gave you two free batteries with it as well. So it'd be good to see the footage, because this is the first proper time I've had to check it out. If I didn't have to get into the office for work, I'd probably move somewhere around here. These speed limits are driving me batty though. And then I bought that X4 on the Black Friday as well, so I got a bit of money off, and they throw some accessories into the mix as well as part of the Black Friday deal. I must say, all the kit that I've got, I bought myself, and I've kind of bought over the years as well. So anything I say about these products, it's my own opinion. It's not, I'm not affiliated to anyone or anything like that. What I might do is park up and change the angle of this 360 camera. Let's try it around the back of the bike. Look at the filth on that. It's got a bake on, that is. It's no garage queen, is it? It's got a bolt because I lost it on the trip. Had the battery issues. I had a battery issue today actually. I think there's something a bit weird going on with the electronics on the bike. I think I might have a duff battery as well. So put it like that. Got this with it as well as part of a Black Friday deal. It's like a brace to stop it from wobbling. See what that's like? I won't be able to do that when the panniers are on. I'll have to find another way of doing it. I might have to ditch my top box, you know, so I can use some more racking. That's handy. Got that with the camera as well. That's really handy. Speed camera. So trips this year, not got much booked in to be fair, but that doesn't mean anything. I've got my main holiday booked for July again, going around the same dates as I did last year to the Route de Grand Alps. For me that seems to be the sweet spot travelling Europe, especially if you want to do the mountain passes. In June some of them are still closed, so I didn't fancy taking that risk of going all the way there and then finding the passes that you were going all the way there for can't be ridden. So with that said, I've got 10 nights booked off work. I've not booked anywhere and I've not planned the route. I am tempted to go into Austria and go that way. I'm also tempted to do half the Route de Grand Alps and then either roll back east towards Austria and then back home, or roll back west and come back through Belgium just at a leisurely pace. And the reason for that is I did 4 days pretty much of péage on the last trip, and I don't regret doing that. That got me to where I wanted to get to, which is the Route de Grand Alps. But I've done the Route de Grand Alps now, so I might just concentrate on a section and then cut it short, and then go back and do another section and cut it short, which means less time needed on the péage. So it's an open question about where in Europe I'm going, but it'll be July-ish and it'll be 10 nights-ish as well. In fact, I was pricing up the ferry to Santander and do the Picos, and it's just extortionate. I just cannot believe how much the ferry's gone up. It was, for me, on my own, with my bike, no trailer, cheapest cabins you can get, because I will not use them reserve seats ever again. They're absolutely horrendous. So for the cheapest cabin there and back, no food, it was 1,900 quid. And I just, for me, that 1,900 quid is the whole holiday budget. So in fact it's more than the whole holiday budget. I try to spend about 1,500 all in, aim for less if we go camping and stuff. And then the only other trip I've got booked in so far is in May. I'm going with a mate to York on the bikes. There's like some old car museum he wants to go to, so we're going on the bikes for a long weekend, Travelling up there, we've got 2 days, 2 clear days there, and then travelling back. So what we're thinking of doing is basically spend a day-ish at the museum. So travel up there, probably just take the motorway. Wouldn't mind stopping at that Squire's Calf as well, just have a look around there while I'm in that area. Bit of a detour, but I think it'd be worth it. So travel up there, day 1, day 2 or day 3 will be either a ride out or a museum visit, and I think that'll probably depend on the weather on the weekend. Obviously if it's raining we'll go to the museum. Yeah, so that's day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4 just travel back. And to be fair, knowing Jeff, he'll probably want to just bomb it back on the motorway and get home. So that'll be a nice little break. We try to go every year around April, May. Then we sometimes go around September. So the shoulder seasons, shoulder months. I think it was 2 years ago we went in September to the bikers campsite in Wales, and it was bizarre. It was because we had a heat wave. It was 25, 26 degrees. So it's like a really nice summer's weekend. So that was lovely. Met some brilliant people there. Some of them I'm still in touch with on Facebook and what have you. So that was good. And then probably do something later in the year. Probably go out for just general ride outs. Like last year I went to Fishguard for a chippy. So that was about 350 mile day all in. To get some fish and chips. I did that before my Route de Grand Alps trip. Some pop back on that in there. What I try to do before my holidays is about 2 or 3 months before the holiday I'll get the bike serviced, oil change, filters, all that stuff, get it all checked over, get new tyres on it if I need them. And I do that 2 or 3 months out from the holiday, because what you can find is that you get it serviced a week before you go away. Yeah, that's great, fresh oil in the engine and all the rest of it, but if anything's happened while they're servicing it, or if any niggles are discovered, then you're going to find them out on your trip. So if you give yourself that 2 or 3 month window before you leave, if you can obviously, then you've got 2 or 3 months to check it all over yourself after all the work's been done. And I just find that a bit better, a bit of a better approach really, than getting lastminute.com servicing and MOTs and tyres changed and all that stuff. So we do that, and then as I'm building up to the ride, the holiday, what I'll do is I'll try and get out as much as I can, and I'll do long mile days. It's almost like training really, which is a bit odd when you say it like that, because you don't really train for holidays, do you? Well, you might do on the booze, but what that means is by the time I get to France or wherever it is I'm going, I've got 3 months under my belt where I've done some big mileage days, and I do genuinely recommend doing that if you can, because when you're on holiday you will, whether it be through a planning slip up or like the last one, I was a bit poorly, so I had to compress some of the days together because I was doing half day mileage really, because basically I had the shits. But you don't know what's going to happen, do you? So if you feel confident, if you're only doing normally, I don't know, 50 to 100 miles a day, and you've done 3 months of doing the odd 300 or 400 mile day in UK roads where you're familiar with it and all the rest of it, so that's a bit easier as well. But if you ever need to do it on holiday, you're confident you've got it in yourself to do it. It's just one less thing to worry about really. and you're familiar with the bike, and you've worked out all the niggles before you actually go abroad. So if you can do that, if you've got, you know, obviously if you've got time and stuff like that to do it, then yeah, definitely recommend doing a few, just a handful, maybe 5 or 6 long mileage rides, all dayers. Get up and leave by house by 8, come back by 6, full days in the saddle. It is really good to kind of acclimatise your body to potential long days in the saddle on holiday. What else? So I've got my RBLR ride outs as well, which are normally dotted throughout the year. So around, I think it's around March or April, we do a branch get together at the Arboretum National Memorial. So that's a ride there and back and a bit of a chat. And then we've got the odd, you know, charity raising events where we'll ride out somewhere, set up a stall and try and get some money for the poppy appeal. And then I think the big ones, weirdly enough, are towards the back end of the year, but that's because it's all to do with remembrance and poppies, which obviously in the UK it's a memorial service in November. So so we've got the ride to remember that I put a video up. That's good, check that out. That gives you a good insight as to what we're doing. So that's an annual event, so I'll be doing that, and I will be booking a hotel again this year because that just worked out lovely. And then I typically do Ride to the Wall, which is separate to the British Legion Riders branch, but a lot of obviously veterans go to it. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And then a lot of the guys from my branch, they do the Iron Butt Challenge, which is I think it's 1,000 miles in 24 hours. So it's quite an undertaking, and I'd love to do it, but it always falls on that sweet spot of the year where I'm going away on holiday. And I've already booked my leave for this year, so I probably won't be doing that. And then I wouldn't mind doing a few bike rallies this year as well. I've never actually done, I've been riding 17 years and I've never ever done a bike rally, and I've never done the TT, and I really, they're both on my bucket list to do both of them. I was going to do the Dragon Rally this year, but I think I've missed the deadline for payment on that, so maybe next year. But I find the bike rallies quite hard to locate. They're not all in like one place, you know. So if you know of any bike rallies that are good, that you've been to before, I'm not talking like a Venture Bike Festival or anything like that. I'm talking about the older ones that have been going for donkey's years. You know, like the Dragon Rally, I think it's been going for like 60 plus years or something. So I'm talking about those the old school type of biking rallies. Again, ABR, it's something that I'd like to go to, but again it falls on when I want to go on my holiday. And the dates I can go on my holiday are kind of restricted by my work and my family life, so it's not as if I can just I'll shift it and do Legion Riders Iron Butt and I'll do the adventure bike weekend. I can't, it's restricted by those two things. I am not Mr. Greenlight today. You can smell the freshly laid cow poo in the air. I know you're in the country. If you've got any ideas for my summer holiday on the bike, I'm all ears. I'd love to do North Spain, but as I said, ferries they just cost too much at the minute. I've got better things to do in my life, to be honest with you, than spend £2,000 on a boat. And riding down, you know, to get to Spain, and then riding round even northern Spain like the Picos, and then riding back, it wouldn't be very good in 10 nights. So that's out basically. I'd love to do Croatia, because I've actually, me and my partner went and backpacked around there, and I'd love to do the Dalmatian coast on the bike, but again, 10 nights, it's not enough. Not to do it in a nice holiday style-y. So yeah, if you got any recommendations, put them in the comments. Help a lad out. One of my more long-term plans, but it is very finance dependent, having the money to do it, is and I spoke about this on my holiday last year. I really would love to do the Tet and a bit of green laning. I'd like to move a bit off road now. You're probably thinking, well, he's got a GSA, so just do it on that, but no. it's too heavy. For me, it's too complicated, and the biggest one is it's too expensive. If you damage it, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of pounds to fix anything pretty much on this. So my cunning plan is I'd like to buy a second bike, and I'm looking at something like the Honda CRF 300 Rally. So I'd like to buy that if I can this year. Do a bit of local stuff this year on it. Get used to it. Suss out what needs to be done on it and what doesn't. And then next year I'd like to go over to the Alps again and do sections of the Tet. And if you don't know what the Tet is, it stands for the Trans-European Trail. I'll put a link in the description. Basically it's a collection of green lanes and cobbledy paths and all that kind of stuff, and it navigates right the way around Europe. There's a big section of it in the UK actually. In fact, a lot of people say the UK section is one of the best in Wales and what have you. So as part of this year, if I can buy the bike this year, I'll be doing the UK sections as a bit of a practice, determine what tyres I need and all that stuff. So what I'd like to get to, have a CRF 300 in the garage, kitted out. This year I'll do the holiday on this bike, and then next year 2026 I'd look to do some more off-road orientated riding. So it'd be quite interesting actually, and there's a couple of reasons why, well, more than a couple actually, but the main ones are, you know, first I want to do it before I'm too old to do it, before my body's too knackered and weak to do off-roading. I think if you've been doing off-roading all your life, then you can probably do it into your 70s, but I'm starting in my 40s, so that's not me. So that's number one. Number two, I'll be honest with you, the way the highways agency are just mullering over speed limits on the roads and stuff like that, and you know, there's a lot more, it's well over here, a lot more cars on the road, a lot more congestion, you know. I just kind of fancy in the off-road route. I know it has its own problems, but don't know unless you try, do you? And then the other one as well is that when I was riding through the Alps, it was absolute, the scenery was just beautiful, absolutely stunning. Everywhere you looked, it's like, oh, that's a good picture, that's a good picture, that's a good picture. Everywhere, it was just unbelievable. And the further into the Alps you got, you know, the wilder it got, the less populated it was. It just the scenery just improved and improved. And I've kind of always thought, well, that's on a tarmac road in civilization. So if I got a more off-road orientated bike, you know, going down old goat tracks and green lanes and all the rest of it in that area of the world, I just think the scenery would be better. So I just want to give it a go. So that's the plan. This year, trips will be done on this bike. If I can afford to get the CRF, a new one's coming out as well actually. It's got a slip clutch and everything. If I can get the CRF, I'll do a few ride outs on that, get used to it, and then the following year look to do a more off-road orientated holiday. Oh, I'm happy I've put my heated jacket on. Jeez. According to the thermometer on the bike, it's gone up 2 degrees, but I tell you, it doesn't feel it. It feels like it's gone down 2 degrees, if anything. It's so cold. Might try the X4 in a third position. I'm heading up to Ruthin now, and then I'll just loop round, jump on the bypass and head back home. I won't film that bit, it's boring. I normally go the other way to Ruthin, but this way's quite nice. I think you go past the castle here. Right, I might be cheeky, go into that car park and then swap this around and see how we get on. Oop. I just smacked it off there. Oh, that's good. Forgot how high me oh, I don't want radio. Forgot how high my X4 was on its selfie stick and just gone through a low head barrier. Still there though, that's good. Right, now where was I going to put that? I was going to put that on the front actually. Get a few more clamps. I'm not doing this all bloody holiday. Messing about with clamps all the time. Do it here. What would that give me? Do it. What if I do it there with it? Miss it, aren't I? Look like a right dickhead, don't I? It's all the stuff you don't really see, isn't it? All the dicking about. Oh, getting there. I'll tell you what, right, it's compared to what else is out there on the market, it's quite good accessories, like. Will I get out? Put that down and then I'll put it back up. There you go, just kicked it. Alright. See what that's like. Can't hurt, can it? I've heard the footage on the X4 is quite difficult to edit, so I'll have some fun with that. Just yet another thing to learn, really. Tyre slip there. Roads are still greasy. So one target I've set myself this year, I want to do 5,000 miles on the bike. And if we look at my trip, which was reset at the petrol station at the start of this ride, then I've done 47.5 miles today so far, and it was total mileage was 27,037 for the bike. So let's call it 27,000 miles to start with on the year. So I want to get that up by 5k. So that's my goal. It's not a massive, it's not, you know, it's not unachievable by any stretch. Some people do like 10-20,000 miles a year on the bikes. I don't. I have a car and I have kids. So I get out on the bike when I can. But yeah, let's do 27,000 miles. Let's do 5,000 in 2025. Minimum. Do more than 5,000. Right, so I'm just jumping on the bypass now to head home. So I'm going to finish the video there. Thank you for listening. As you know, I've got a few plans for this year. Biggest one being maybe a second bike, but we'll see how we get on. So thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Ride safe. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.